Hello, I'm Eleanor Casey and I'll be doing evaluation question number 2. The question is, how effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary texts? So my ancillary texts are a magazine front cover and a poster, and obviously my main product is a film trailer. The genre is a romance, but in my opinion, it's very different. It's not quite a romance film. It shows a couple, but then there's a disequilibrium, there's a disruption to the equilibrium. So the couple sort of break apart, and obviously the trailer doesn't show you the entire narrative, but I wanted to get across that this female character it focuses on her, and it focuses on her story and how she overcomes that breakup and how she moves on. And I think that's my unique selling point, because it's so different to every other romance. You expect the couple to get back together, and we have planned, like, obviously if it was the entire film it would show her moving on and finding another love, but the trailer's just showing her and how she's in love with this guy, but then he ends up betraying her and cheating on her, and it sort of shows how she has to deal with that struggle. It's really realistic and very different to what normal romance films are about, and it's just sort of her finding love within herself and how she eventually moves on. So going on to my ancillary text, I struggled to maintain the synergy and continuity that you need, but I think I did achieve it relatively well. I did try really hard. It took me a long time to achieve what I've done, and they both obviously include the film's title. The colour schemes are quite similar. They both have black and white. The fonts are quite similar. I haven't really changed the small font at all. They're both pretty much the same. Obviously the film title fonts are very different. You've got one on the poster which is sort of handwritten, making it more personal and more it shows the genre a lot better than the magazine front cover does. The magazine front cover shows the title with sort of cracks and little bits falling away and stuff, showing it relates to the title broken. And obviously they're completely different, making it quite difficult for the audience to recognise them. But I felt the title was quite bold, and I thought I could achieve having 2 different titles just to fit the magazine front cover better. And what I wanted to achieve with the poster, I felt that the more script font just worked a lot better and made it more of a romantic atmosphere. So yeah, obviously going on to titles, as I've just mentioned, it was quite difficult to achieve the synergistic links between the 2 products. I feel that's that's what I wish I could improve on, actually trying to find a font that fits both of my ancillary products, rather than just trying to fit them around what I wanted. So it was quite difficult. I struggled with that, and I wish I changed that completely. Going on to colour scheme, as I mentioned, they both had black and white font, or black boxes with white font in them. With the magazine front cover, I used a red font, the colour red has connotations of like love, passion, but also can show anger, which I thought was quite good, because it suggests that that's how the female character is going to feel. And yeah, it just worked well with the image. I had to really consider what my main image was and what colours would work well and show the font well, and so the audience could see it and they could be drawn in. It had to be eye-catching. Obviously with the poster I had to do the same as well, so I used a sky blue for one of the pieces of font, and that worked really well because it contrasted with the main image, because I made the main image quite dark in the end, and then obviously I had white font so it contrasted, they could read easily. And I felt the blue blue has so many connotations of depth and meaningfulness, and obviously it relates to water, which I thought was worked well. So overall I thought the colour schemes worked well for each different ancillaries, and I thought it just made the products so different to each other, which I kind of liked. Yes, moving on to props, obviously colour, once again, I sort of focused on a bit. The colour red is seen quite a few times in the trailer. You've got the red lipstick, you've got the red car seats, and the red nails as well. And I thought that just obviously signifies love, passion, and it just worked sort of well. It just showed that not everything was as it seemed. The other props are like the boat, which suggests that it's not going to be as smooth sailing. Like, you have no control over water, you have no control over the weather, you only have control over the boat. And I quite liked how it looked. I looked at other trailers like The Notebook, and I really liked the shots of them on the boat and how it was quite romantic, but also showed that this maybe isn't going to be as smooth sailing as they hoped. And obviously the phone, you see that quite a few times, and that's just to sort of signify that in relationships you need to maintain a communication between each other, but it shows that perhaps the communication has been lost between Daisy and Charlie has now moved on to someone else, and they seem to be maintaining a communication well, and they seem to be getting on well, which is holding that other part of the relationship up. And I thought that just had a lot of significance, and obviously it shows that it's modern because phones have come so far. And yeah, I just quite it was different because often you see letters in romance films, and I just thought maybe using a phone it'll be quite different. Going on to costume now, obviously we kept it very plain and simple and casual. We didn't really make them dress up that much. We just made them dress up on the first date to make it look, that's what people do when you meet up with someone for the first time. You do put an effort into how you look, and then it obviously shows that it becomes more casual. They become comfortable around each other, and it just makes it more realistic, and I felt that the audience could relate really well, and I think we did achieve that quite well in our costume. Like, we changed up a little bit, like the scarf, to show that they're still in a relationship, time's moving on, they're now in winter season. And in general, I thought that did it worked well. It created a rapport between the audience and the characters. And obviously in all three of my main products you see the casual clothing, that doesn't really change at all. And I just thought it just worked well. Going on to social media, I've obviously been posting them on my blog, so my magazine front cover and poster and film trailer is all on my blog, which is easily accessible for many people, many internet users, and obviously that's kind of targeted towards my target audience once again. And obviously YouTube, that's incredibly popular at the minute, so I thought by posting my film trailer on there, it is cheap, I don't have to pay anything, and it's so easily accessible. So many people around the world use YouTube, so yeah, I just thought it was so much better by using that. So sort of to conclude, I feel like out of my three products, the magazine front cover was less effective, just because the colour red was a little bit different. It's not the sort of red I would have wanted, but because of the main image, I had to have that colour. It made it really difficult. I made it difficult for myself to, like, when you have something envisioned in your mind and then you put it to, like, on paper, I suppose, well, on the screen, it's really difficult to get that. And with the main image, I wish I sort of changed it and had more time to change that, because I would have done completely different after looking and doing loads of research for magazine front covers. I would have just made my life so much easier by changing that image. I didn't give myself much space to write, and it just was really quite difficult, I think, to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I think the image I should have tried to maybe get a little bit more space in, maybe taking it portrait, so obviously magazine front covers a portrait. And I just needed to make more synergistic links between the poster and the magazine front cover. I feel that they're two very different ancillary products. There's not a clear link between them really, apart from the title and obviously the people that are in it. So I just needed to make my genre more clear as well in the magazine. I feel like in the magazine front cover there was obviously, you could see that the couple were in love, but it just wasn't clear enough. I think it was just, I just needed to work a little bit harder on that. I did think the poster was quite strong because it showed the couple quite happy, and you know, they're on a date and it seemed really romantic. I think going on a boat ride is quite romantic. But I think I needed to focus on the couple more. Like, I needed to bring in the image a bit more and focus on just them on the boat, not have so much surrounding. And yeah, I just think that would have been a little bit better to get my genre clear to the audience. But yes, that is everything. I think I've answered everything. I've got my notes down here, which is why I kept looking down here. Thank you.